as if there's a trench around around University of Maryland College Park. We're investing in a new physics building there. They're going to be doing tremendous research at College Park, and in addition to that, USDA and what's going on with agriculture to help us figure out better ways to feed this world of ours. That's all happening here as well. So the vision for Prince George's County is a vision that has Prince George's squarely in the center of the science and security, the innovative economy that is Maryland moving forward. There's also a tremendous amount of potential around all of the metro sites, not all, almost all of the metro sites, unrealized potential to grow Maryland in smarter, cleaner, greener ways with higher density development to give a sense of place around those metro sites that also serves a purpose for our whole state so that we can grow in ways that are more respectful of the land and the water which we have in limited supply. I'm going to stop there because you have a follow-up question.
Again, I work for a credit union, and credit unions didn't participate in subprime mortgage lending. So because of that, we have money, and we're willing and ready to lend to small businesses. So would you support, if it comes to your desk, House Bill 1223, introduced by Herman Taylor, who is now, of course, running for Congress, so it may not, it'll have to be reintroduced, I'm sure, that would lift the cap on lending for credit unions from 12.25% to 25%. Will you support that if it lands on your desk?
So what does that say? That you can invest, you can lend up to 12% of your.
Right now, we can only lend up to 12% of our assets,
Huh.
and that's millions and millions of dollars at my credit union. So if that cap is lifted, we're able to make loans to more small businesses, which will put more people in work, which will help lift us out of this recession that we're currently in. So if that bill hits your desk, would you support that? Would you sign that?
I probably would. Do I have to commit right now before I read it? Generally like to read them first. Now, it sounds like, what did they do? And if they're recording and you're wondering, the question is to increase the cap that would allow credit unions to lend up to 25% of their, on 25% of their assets rather than 12%. What's the average? Is there a norm in the country?
Right now, it's at 12%. It's a federal bill that's being introduced as well. But on the state level, if we could do it on the state level, credit unions could help get this economy back moving again.
Are they working on a bill like that Are they working on a bill like that in Congress now?
Yes, they are.
For the federally regulated credit unions?
Yes, it's rumored to be part of the jobs bill that will be coming out, but that's not for sure. And that's
right.
We've
been waiting a long time on jobs too.
But we can do it at the state level.
Okay. Hey, let me look into it. Sounds like a great idea. And are there any other states that do 25%?
Well, actually, that bill was introduced here by Carl Brown at CMBC, I think it is, at Prince CMBC. Center for Minority Development. Yes, here at Prince George's Community College, and he was saying that if it works here, we can take it state to state and not wait on the federal government.
Okay.
So it's a grassroots effort that we could be number one.
Gotcha. Just like we are in public schools.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, let me look into it. You get that one, Dominic? House Bill 1223. Yes, sir. Congratulations on your ascent.
After you're welcome. It's nice to see you wearing your high school colors.
Gonzaga.
That's right. I'm Gonzaga too.
You went to Gonzaga?
I did.
You didn't tell me that over already.
We were talking to Mr. Graham.
St. John's. St. John's.
Governor, I transferred from St. John's to Gonzaga.
Transferred from St. John's to Gonzaga. The angels cheer when one is saved.
Just for that, I have a question. I have a pretty simple question. It's basically lessons learned over the last 3 or 4 years, and that goes to financial literacy. And there's this think lack of financial literacy. I don't know whether it's a long-term issue in regards to breakdown of the family unit or whatever. It used to be that, you know, there was common sense taught at the family level. People understood how to manage a checking account or how to borrow, and risks and perils of borrowing, and doing some of the simple math in regards to that. And we as an industry, the banking community, we worked very hard the last 5 years in regards to financial literacy, but we're just a Band-Aid to it. It needs to be at the state level, mandated, probably part of a math curriculum at the high school level, but nobody is taking it on. Everybody's dancing around it. And if you really want to, you know, good leadership would be to champion that.
Thank you. And you all heard the question in the back about financial literacy. Approximately, losing track of time, approximately a year ago, I spoke to the State Board of Education. And actually, James DeGraffenreich, who's my Washington Gas guy. James would be an interesting speaker. I mean, he's such a quiet, competent person, but he's the chair of our State Board of Education and moving forward and doing a lot of really positive things. But I laid out remarks there, should be online on our state website, talking about the road from here. So we can't content ourselves with being the #1 public school system in the country. We've got a lot of work to do, not only to close the achievement gap within our own borders, but to make sure that our kids can succeed on a global stage. And I outlined in there a number of things for the school board's agenda, one of which was financial literacy. Another one was, a few of these things, and they all go together. I mean, one was a Common Core curriculum that's internationally benchmarked. Another piece of it was this race to the top competition, which you've heard about, we put in our application. Third piece was improving science, technology, engineering, and math education in our state. We're making strides there. A third piece was improving CTE, career and technical education. In the past, we think of it as, you know, that's the widget program for the kids that don't cut it in the academics. But the truth is, in this day and age, once kids graduate, they need to have both the ability to go to college and the ability to go into a job. And the career and technical education can actually help you greatly reduce your dropout rate as well. But the two of the other literacies, one of them was environmental literacy, which needs to be a part of our science curriculum in ways that is not, or that vary across the state. But the other one is the financial literacy. Not a one-off course for 2 days, you know, but integrated into the math curriculum, which would also make it a lot more interesting for the kids, just as CTE makes engineering and math and science more engaging, and just as environmental literacy makes the science more engaging, so too will the financial literacy make the math courses far more engaging. So there was also a bill passed, I thought, in this General Assembly session on that issue. But let me follow up with you afterward, and I'd like to know where we are on that score as well, too. I'm going to have a sit-down with James shortly and go over the various things we discussed. But financial literacy is one of them. And I think you might be impressed with what's going on that we just might not be doing a good job of publicizing just yet, and what's coming. Changing curriculum is one of the most difficult things to do in any school system. I mean, if you ever want to make the hair go up on the back of the necks of people at the Maryland Department of Education, walk in as an elected official and tell them you want to talk about curriculum. And but James is doing a very good job of moving that forward, and I think we're one of the very first states to actually have environmental literacy ready to launch, and that will be followed by financial literacy.